How's it going, Radical viewers? Green Gaddy right back into it with the last couple Legends of the West videos I plan on doing for the channel until Red Dead Online actually drops some real content updates. And guess what? This is coming on the 1st of December, which means we do have another Grim giveaways going. So keep an eye out for the code scrolling at the bottom of the screen and just drop that into the comments for your first free entry. And for a second entry, so you want one, just head over to Twitter and tweet at GrimGaddy, hashtag GrimGiveaways, along with the code, and there's your second entry. Winner gets a free game of their choice on the platform of their choice. Now, that all said, there's a couple of outfits and guns I already had pre-done because I expect them, A, to win at some point, so I just kind of did them because I was expecting to actually showcase them, but they didn't, so I'm just doing it now to get it off my chest. And, well, an outfit I promised somebody because of membership stuff, and also an outfit I kind of just wanted to do because I felt like doing it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and break down the Ranger Sequoia from Fallout New Vegas, or at least my version of it. So we're going to use the Navy, if that wasn't already apparent, and there are going to be some things here and there which actually just sadly don't fit because we don't actually have access to any such thing that would be better. But honestly, we can get pretty close to hitting the nail on the head with this sucker. And starting off with the grip, we're going to want the ironwood grip. Honestly, for the textures I keep looking at in various screenshots from actually Fallout New Vegas, which is what I'm going off of. There's screenshots of God knows how many different mods and iterations of the Ranger Sequoia where I had trouble keeping track, and honestly, it was more of a pain in the butt to find the original version and rendered model and textured model than anything else. But the ironwood grip. Barrel, for the length, we're going to go with long because it actually has long. It's also great for stats. Rifling, we're going to have improved rifling because, number one, does nothing cosmetically, as I keep saying, and it just improves stats, which is always great and fantastic. Hey, guess what? Iron sights, improved iron sights. Why? Well, it doesn't do really much of anything cosmetically, and it just improves stats, and it's better. Always better. Moving on to the meat of this project, the styles, starting off with the metals. For the barrel, cylinder, and frame, you can have black and steel if you want. Oh, and the trigger guard. My apologies, I almost forgot the trigger guard. You can have black and steel. It works. It looks a little bit more faded, and it really kind of gives a nice little Fallout. I've been out in the wasteland for far too long, and therefore everything looks like crap kind of look. But if you want to go for a more newer look, honestly, blued steel does look pretty good on this. Except on trigger guard. I don't actually like it on the trigger guard, that's a personal thing. But again, if you want to kind of stick closer to the Fallout version, black and steel works wonders. For the hammer and the trigger, however, brass, just flat out brass. I'm pretty dead certain it's actually supposed to be brass. If you want, you can throw gold on it. Honestly, I feel like that'd look better on, say, the blued version of everything else. But brass looks a little bit better for the more faded Fallout look that everyone's familiar with. Moving on to the engravings. We're going to want full ornamental engravings. I felt like these actually matched pretty damn close. And for the inlay metal, I went with nickel. I went with nickel for a few reasons. For one thing, and people will argue this in the comments left and right, and I know they're going to, people will probably swear up and down that the engravings are actually gold, not silver, not nickel. It's like, okay. I have a compromise for this. I mean, you could just say screw it and throw on gold, which looks gaudy, but fine, I guess. You could just throw on iron, which, again, looks fairly decent. You could throw on silver, which looks a little bit more shiny. Again, people will argue this left and right, and I know they will. Honestly, one of the main reasons I chose nickel over anything else is because of the slight tinge it has, it kind of looks like really, really faded gold to me in some light, which I really appreciate. While as brass, this looks like, well, dull and dirty gold. So that's another reason why I picked nickel. It's why I suggest nickel. That and then the original OG textures, it comes off more silver than anything else. My reasoning. by all means argue with me in the comments, because it does nothing but generate more and more views. Oh. Moving on to the carvings, we don't actually have a two-headed bear. We don't even have a bear for revolver carvings, which makes me stupidly sad. I honestly threw on the puma because it's about the closest thing we have to a bear, as in it's a large carnivore. The bears are omnivores, but we don't have really an omnivore, so I went with carnivore, so puma. I'm explaining too much. You could just say screw it and just go with nothing. That also looks fine. But that's what I went with. And then finally for the varnish, I became a basic SOB and I went with mahogany because I swear to God, it's the one thing that looks good. If you want kind of a more brighter, newer version of red, now you're going to, well, you know, I'm going to try to pronounce it. Bubinga, I think is how it's pronounced. I honestly don't know. Yell at me in the comments by all means. If you want more of a brighter, newer red, mesquite also works wonders, and I do love mesquite personally. I really do. Wild cherry, also kind of a nice, I just like throwing options at you guys. Black walnut, also a great suggestion, but mahogany. I like mahogany. Mahogany. All said, that's it. As usual, I hope you all enjoyed. If you all did enjoy, a great way of showing that support, as always, is by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with your friends. And being sure to tune in tomorrow, where we're going to do another gun. One that I'm painfully familiar with, and I have no excuse to get wrong in any right, because I literally have it sitting literally a foot away from me. So do tune in for that. That all said, once again, thank you all for watching, and as usual, cheers to those that love us, the losers that lost us, and as always, the lucky sons of bitches that get to meet us, and we will catch you all in the next video. See you then. And as always, a great shout out to our channel supporter, Matthew Dens, who brings us one step closer to going completely ad-free on all future videos. All I need is a couple more of you like him, and God knows, you guys will never even have to see ads on any of the videos. God willing.